Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my perspective here. I'm going to hide everything. Alright, so the canopy. Little tricky here, guys. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my turbo smooth, and we're going to go Alt X, X-ray form. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding a little bit of extra geometry here. So, on the edges here, I'm going to grab one of these edges. I'm going to ring it, connect it, and I'm going to slide this somewhere right about here. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to take those verts and just kind of pull these down, because we're going to kind of match the canopy a little bit, at least the contour of it. You know, like right around here. And you know what, I'll probably, let's just bring this back a little bit. I'll probably do one more. I'm actually going to grab these and just kind of bring them out a little bit. And we're going to take this one. Here, let's bring this out. Probably take this one, leave it here. Let's bring this out. Oops. Alright, what I'm going to do here is we're going to add one more. I'm going to go edge. Let's go ring, connect. And let's bring this down slightly. Like I said, we're just matching this up. This should help us out as we're shaping up the canopy. Alright, so that looks pretty good. You know, if we want, we can probably do one more right here just to, help, just, we can always remove if it gets too dense. And I'm just connecting right there, which I'll do that again so you can see it. I basically just grabbed any edge, ringed it, connected it, pressed OK, and then I'm just grabbing these verts and slightly kind of rounding it off a bit. Alright, so I'm going to hide unselected, Alt X, so you can see what's going on. As you can see, we kind of dipped in the canopy a little bit. Alright, from here I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take these, I believe, let me see, I believe it's, yeah, these faces right here that represent the canopy. We're just going to delete those off. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to use my references now. As you can see, we have our canopy here. It's been cut out. Now I'm actually going to take this edge, and on the opposite side of this edge, and if you were to see which edges, I'm going to hide unselected so you can see. Oops. Let me deselect that really quick. Alright, so I'm actually grabbing those edges right here. Now the idea of what we're going to do is actually, just like the tail, we're going to shift drag around just like that. But at the same time, we're going to shape it up. So I'm going to Control Z. Alright, I'm going to unhide everything now. And now you're going to see right here, I'm actually going to hold down Shift. Whoops, let me hold down Shift before we duplicate that. And we're going to walk up this canopy here. Now the thing is, look at up here, at the same time we're going to kind of scale that in slightly. So I'll probably do the first two. 1, 2. Oops, let's bring this one up. Let's rotate this. You always want to go with the contour of the plane. So I'm taking this canopy, there we go. I'm going to shift drag it one more time, say about here. I'm going to rotate those just like that. I'm going to grab these verts and just kind of pull them up a bit. Let's get our move tool. You can always grab certain verts here. We're just going to kind of shape it up a little bit. I'm going to pull those slightly up. Now, as you can see from the top, I'm going to hide and select. Alright, I'm taking these verts right here, the outside verts, and I'm going to actually scale these in slightly. Oops, let's get it from the x-axis. I'm going to slide those in. As you can see, we're smashing them to a point, but we got to raise them back up, kind of like this. So I'm going to grab these and raise them up. This is a good time for you to start learning to maneuver around in perspective as well. So I'm going to grab these. I'm just going to scale them in. But at the same time, I'm just going to grab those bottom verts, and we're going to, I'll go on this side, and we're going to shape it up. So we're going to raise that up slightly. So we want something on the lines of that. And you know, we can always come back and add more, you know, cuts to our geometry. But that's the idea. Just like the tail, you know how we were shifting all the way down here to connect here, we're going to do that and connect there. So I'm going to take this edge, I'm going to unhide all my references again, and we're going to start shift dragging. 1, 2, I'll probably go about right there. And I'm going to represent this little spot as well, so I'm going to go 3, and then we'll probably shift drag that like that, a little lip. I'm going to hide unselected, so I'm going to deselect, grab my plane, hide unselected. Alright, and then the next move is, let's take our vertex, and we are going to actually turbo smooth this. And also I want to make sure everything's lined up properly, straight. As you can see, sometimes things look like they may be off. Obviously something's not centered. So what we can do to straighten that out is, I'm just going to take these verts and I'm going to click here and drag all the way down, and let me grab all the way through here. So as you can see, I grabbed all the verts all the way through, except for we missed this one, so I'm going to grab that one. And with this, I'm actually going to take my scale tool, and if I grab it from the side, we can start aligning things, straighten it out for us. There you go. So now it looks like it's aligned. Alright, so from there, I'm going to take my vertex, and we are going to target weld it. I'm going to target weld this one to that one. Like I said, we could probably target weld this to this, but we're going to wait. We're going to start building the rest before we start welding things. Alright, but the next thing I want to do is let's shape this out a bit. So I'm going to unhide all. Alright, I'm going to get my move tool, and we're going to start getting these vertexes and just kind of line them up how we want them to look. You know, I might grab an edge here, those edges, grab one and ring it, and just hit connect right there, so we have that extra face or the edge. And I'm gonna just go ahead and align these up somewhat properly, or round it off better. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, now the next step is for us to kind of, from the front view, we're going to start building and match down here. So I'm going to actually, just to help me out, I'm going to pull this back a little bit. This plane right here on this side, so we can kind of see as we're going. So I'm going to take this edge right here. Oops, let me deselect that. I'm going to take this edge right here, and as you can see up here, if I hold down shift, I'm starting to duplicate just that edge. Actually, I'm going to grab a different one. Let's grab this one right here. Alright, I'm going to shift drag 1. Let's go 2, and at the same time, I don't want to go too carried away. Let's kind of like shape this out a little bit more. Now the whole goal, and as you can see over here, the whole goal is to actually build it down and then weld it to the side. So if it helps, I'm going to right click, hide unselected, and I'm just going to start shift dragging. Take my edge here, I'm just going to start shift 1, and at the same time I'm going to straighten that out just using my X, or my scale, I'm grabbing the Y handle. Straighten it out. Alright, as we're getting pretty close, I'll probably do one more, and we're going to start shaping them out. I want to make sure everything's matching up properly. I'm going to shift drag one last time, and I know this is going to go, let's walk around our model. We can actually target weld this one to that, just like that, and then we can start shaping this out a little bit. Like I said, this is probably the most tedious part, you know, as we start shaping this out. We just want to make sure everything's matching up. Alright, so I got something like that. And then if it helps, we can start, here, let's shape this out a little bit. I'm walking around my model. I can grab this and just kind of bring it down. Alright, the idea is to close off the canopy. So I can probably take, you know, we can probably take another edge here. Let's see, because we gotta, you know, we gotta kind of match these up here. So what I'm gonna do is I can take these verts here. We'll probably match this one to match there. I'll probably grab an edge here. Connect it there. And I'll probably match that slightly to that one. Well, what I'm matching up exactly is, you know, vert counts. Alright, from there, I'm going to go ahead and close out. We'll probably take it from here. We're going to start building a cage, a slight cage. Alright, we're going to start bridging, not bridging, but we're going to start building a cage here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this edge here. And from my, you know, front view, I'll hit Alt-X so we can kind of see what's going on. And then I'm going to start shift dragging this down. I'll go back to X-ray so you can see it. I'm start shift dragging down, one more, and then I'll go one more. And let's go ahead and start tweaking this out a bit. So I'm going to start evening these out, spreading them out. And the idea here is we're going to go ahead and target weld this one now, this edge. We're going to hit target weld to that edge. There you go. And now obviously you can see we're going to start bridging these across. We may need an extra one here. So we have 4 right there. So we'll probably, I'm going to go ahead and take this edge here. We're just going to kind of shape this out. Let me turn off my target weld. Alright, so this is why it's good to start learning how to get used to perspective as you shape things out. Constantly walk around. Alright, so to help myself out, I'm going to switch to my right side. And remember, we only got to build one side of the plane, the canopy, because we're going to end up mirroring this or symmetrying it. I just want to make sure I spread these out slightly. That way we have a nice smooth canopy. Alright, so let's grab this. And what we're going to do is we're going to start target welding this stuff. I'm going to actually bring these back a bit. Alright, from here, I'm going to start taking this edge and this edge, and we can bridge that just like that. I can hold down control, I can grab this one and bridge it to this one. And then from here, I'm going to hit OK because we need that extra geometry. We don't need the 5 spot right there. I'm actually going to start tweaking these out a bit. Pulling this out slightly. Pulling this out slightly. Alright, and then I'm going to add one more cut here. So I'm going to grab this edge, connect. And now it starts to become like a puzzle piece here. We can take this edge and this edge, bridge it. And then now I can just take that border cap it. Alright, so we're starting to shape it up. But, you know, like I said, always walk around your model. Start pulling verts, tweaking them out, shaping them up a bit. We can probably bring this one in slightly. We can probably bring this one out slightly and up. Like I said, constantly walk around. We'll probably pull this one down a little bit. There we go. Alright, and then we'll start to close up the hole here. So one thing I can do is possibly, let's see, we can probably go another edge here. I'm going to ring it, connect it, just like that. And then I'm going to take this edge and this edge, we can bridge them. Just like that. We can take this one and bridge it. And then as you can see, we have a 4 spot, so we can just cap that one off. Alright, and then I'll probably come back here and just start shaping this out a bit. So we'll start taking our verts here. I'm just going to kind of raise this up a bit. Maybe bring this back. We can probably grab this one, bring it back slightly. And we can probably take this one, bring it up a little bit. Maybe bring this one up a bit. Like I said, we're just trying to round this off, and we can probably bring this slightly up, maybe slightly forward. Like I said, let's walk around our model. Alright, so let's go ahead and just throw a turbo smooth. Let's turn it on. As you can see, it's starting to shape up. Our whole goal now is to close the backside off. So I'm going to turn that off. We got to start figuring out how we're going to do this. Alright, I'm going to add another edge right here. I'm going to ring that all the way down, connect it. So we have that extra geometry to work with. So I'm going to actually, let's see how we can do this. I am going to, let's do one more. I'm going to ring it, connect it. I'm going to slide this one back slightly. Just like that. Like I said, we can eventually get rid of some of this. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this vert and just target weld it. I guess we can target weld it to that one. Target weld this one to this one. So we got something like that. Let me add another ring here. Edge, I'm going to ring it, connect it. I'm going to slide this one up a little bit. And I'm going to start shaping this out. Grab this vert. Just kind of bring it up slightly. Alright, we got to start figuring this out. So, oops, let me hit Z. This is getting a little out of control here. Let me see why that's not okay. Let me hit Z. Looks like our rotate tool. Let's make sure we're on the right one. There we go, that's the one we want. Alright, so let's see what we can actually bridge. So I'm going to take this one, this edge, and this edge. I'm going to bridge it. Okay, we got a 4 spot right there. So I can take this border, cap it. You know what? And you constantly, like I said, oh, no wonder I'm in orthographic. I'm going to hit my left side here. Switch it back to right. Yeah, you want to be careful not getting it in orthographic. You might screw things up. So I'm going to go ahead and start shaping this out a little bit more. Let's bring this one up a bit. Bring this vert down slightly. We're going to grab this one. Kind of shape it out. Now we got to deal with these last few spots here. So we got to figure a way how to bridge that out. Alright, one thing I guess we could do is, you know what, let's just go ahead and get rid of this one. Take this edge, we can loop it, hold down control, remove, And now we have a 4 spot there, so we can just take that border, cap it. Alright, as you can see, we got the canopy closed off. Let's throw a turbo smooth on it. Alright, looks like it's shaping out pretty well. Don't worry about that pinch right there, because we gotta eventually, cut this in half. Alright, so from here, what I'm going to do is actually just symmetry it. And sometimes it's good to actually cut it in half before you symmetry it. So I'm going to come over here to my polygon mode, and I'm just going to select one half of this. And I want to make sure I walk around the whole model. Oops, we got to make sure we cut right there. See, we don't have that cut. That would help out. So I'm going to take my cut tool. And I'm just going to cut right through it. There we go. Now I can take my polygons here. And let's get one half of it. Oops. Let me deselect that cut. Alright, let's take our polygon tool, or polygon mode, grab one half of it just like that. Let's take a safe walk around it to make sure we got the right polys. We can deselect him for now. Actually, we better. We'll cut him off. We'll recap him. Alright, so looks like I got everything on that one side. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it. Alright, so we got one half deleted. Let's make sure. Yep, that looks fine. Alright, so from here, I'm gonna go check out where my pin, obviously my my pivot point is right in the center, so that should work just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my modify list. Let's delete this turbo smooth. I'm gonna take my modify list, drop it down to symmetry, and obviously it disappears, but we gotta flip it. There we go. Now we gotta make sure, we're not creating any crazy verts. Usually, sometimes it's good to leave it slightly open, and then weld it manually. But I think we're gonna be okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just slightly close the gap. I'm gonna walk around it. Say we got one half built now. Symmetry the other. I'm gonna throw a turbo smooth just to see how it's looking. Go up 2. Ice line displays. And then as you can see, we have half our plane built. Alright, even in symmetry mode, we can kind of tweak things out. So I can come in here, hit my vertex, showing results. I can start shaping certain verts out if we'd like, just to help out our cause here, or help shape out our plane. Same time, if we want to use our reference, and I'm going to go back to my left side, view, left. Alright, looks like things are shaping up pretty well. Let's go ahead and, we can probably bring these up a bit. Just like that. I'll bring this up. There we go. Looks pretty good. I'm going to rotate around. Alright. Next step is we're going to detach the canopy and create the grooves for it. Alright, so I'm going to hide unselected. Whoops, sorry. I'm going to hide unselected. Let's turn this off, turbo smooth, and let's go ahead and turn off our showing results. Click on our turbo smooth, or our symmetry, and let's go ahead and collapse everything. I'm going to delete the turbo smooth. I'm going to collapse 2. Basically, that just kind of locks everything into place. So if I throw a now it's all one piece. So if I throw a turbo smooth on it, 2 iterations, ice line displays. Alright, we look pretty good. Alright, so now, like I said, what we're going to do is detach the canopy and cut in some grooves. Alright, we're going to go ahead and work on this canopy.